Hi, I'm Jeremy York, and this is Scott Wilson.
Hi, guys.
No, Scott is hopefully getting some sleep to get out and plow some more snow tonight. Jeremy still doesn't have much of a voice. You'll have to bear with us a little bit.
We've got it too. Jeremy's spreading his germs.
Yeah, Jeremy's getting everybody sick. So, but no, we are glad to have you guys on tonight. Not many special announcements coming up.
Happy birthday to one of our junior investigators, though. Michaela, our daughter.
Yes.
Turned 18 last Monday.
So she is now a legal adult.
One kid left.
One more to go, and then the house is ours. But no, we the other special announcement we would have would be in a couple weeks. We're going to have a pre-recorded show.
Yes.
It will air on February 19th, but it will be pre-recorded. But we will be in the chats that night when the program airs. That way we can still interact with you guys, the viewers, and hopefully give you guys a great experience. It's going to be an awesome interview. Whatever you do, don't miss it. Next week, we're going to be talking about
Jack the Ripper.
Nope. Next week, we're going to be talking about the St. Valentine's Day massacre for St. Valentine's Day.
We're kind of moving into serial killers, guys.
So there'll be a few episodes coming up that are going to be a little more interesting and a little bit away from the paranormal, but a little bit of the paranormal mind. So it will be very interesting coming up soon. Tonight, we have a special guest. He's from the UK. He is the team member of Ghosted UK. His name is Tim Johnson.
Jeremy. Production, back office.
Hey,
hello everyone.
Some call us Tim.
Tim, yes.
Little Monty Python humor for those of you out there that don't know.
Monty Python. Good grief. The Holy Grail.
Yes.
The Life of Brian or Life of Tim.
He's watched all of those movies. I don't get into them.
I love everything Monty Python. I've watched all the skits, all the movies, everything. Just love those guys. They were revolutionary for their time.
There was a few stoning in the movie, if I remember. Yeah. I vaguely remember it. It's been a while since I watched it. But yeah, that it's apparently the English sense of humor, I think. very, very dry.
Sometimes yes, but other times the delivery that those guys had on the humor itself is what made it funny.
Yes.
And you can't teach that, really. That is just the way that those guys did it made everybody laugh. It made everybody enjoy it, and it was just wonderful to watch.
I think that was just, to be honest with you, what I've gathered over the years is the characters. The thing is, but when you watch certain movies, the characters bring the movie to life. Things like we used to have Carry On the buses, and it was they weren't like nowadays like supermodels. You know, they were just themselves, and they were characters amazing. And I think it's a shame that's sort of seemed to have gone now with characters.
Yeah, I would agree.
A lot of vanity.
Yeah,
and that was quite a sexist time as well. Then, very sexist time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. It's. I think they meant it in a funny way, but when you look back on it, that was definitely sexist. That was, you know.
Very true.
Yeah. Mary Reardon here in the comments said Benny Hill too. I remember Benny. I remember Benny very well.
He used to do that, didn't he, or something on the the bald chap. He did all that. I remember that.
No,
God.
rub the head of the bald guy.
Ah, is that what he
That's
does?
why I sunk down so you could rub my head.
Yeah.
So Tim, tell us about yourself. Give us a little info about you.
Well, we're a paranormal investigators in the East Anglia area, which is in the UK, right on the east coast. We mainly do houses and businesses and places like that, or if there's something of interest like castles, museums, or anything that's got a bit of interest. But we mainly do houses when people get activity like poltergeist activity we've done, and we try and help the families involved. That's what we mainly aim. We don't charge for our services; it's all free of charge. So there's just something that we get asked to do.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. And I think most of us in this field would agree that we're all in it to help people. That's why we do this, is to help people feel comfortable in their homes, give them some empowerment, give them, help them learn to coexist and to be able to handle the reality of the paranormal world.
Yes, it's something that, it's built up over years. It's not something that you just, I've been interested in it since I was 10 years of age when I had an experience. So it's something that's built up over time. And then the more investigations you do, oh God, made terrible mistakes and do things wrong. I felt there's something like, it's just always a learning curve to do the right thing. And you put a team together, which I did put a team together, which I thought would work, and it's been luckily successful in, finding out what's going on in these properties and businesses and that. And we've been lucky to solve some of the cases as well, which has been good, which surprised me at the time. But it's a learning curve. Every time you do them, you're learning what you works for you. Also, we've got such a, like myself as some of the team, we've got such a big connection with spirit, so that really helps. They seem to like coming forward to the, we're like a lighthouse, if you so to speak. They come and attracted to us, so we're lucky that they will come forward and speak. I think that would be very difficult if they didn't. So
yes, very much so.
We're so blessed that they do, and most of the team has had some connection to spirit in some form. That's how I capture all my EVPs and the evidence. If they seem to take a liking to me for some strange reason, I don't know why. I ain't got a clue. And that's how we capture the EVPs. We capture, hundreds, or I would say thousands, but people probably wouldn't believe that. Quite a few. So, and some strange ones. Some of it we don't make any sense of. I ain't got a clue half the time what they're trying to say. That's what we try and solve, what they're trying to ask us. We've had some amazing cases, and terrifying cases. So there's been a variety of different things. Businesses have contacted us to solve issues. So it's just been amazing, really. Obviously, last year has been, we can't be able to do much because of the lockdown in the UK, and we would not risk our team or the occupiers of the properties, so we just sit and put at the moment, twiddling our thumbs,
waiting to get out.
Oh yes, that'd be amazing. That'd be brilliant. I don't know what we probably forget what we're doing. Tom, we get out. We wouldn't know what we're doing. Forget everything. Now it's like riding a bike. Once you've done it, you just go back into like routine, and like when we go to houses, we don't just straight away go right. We're investigating. Let's go for it. Let's set everything. We do like an interview with them to check that there's actually activity there. Do a few tests, a few EVPs maybe, and ask some questions. We document everything we do. And then if we feel that's a case, then we book it for an investigation and go from there. It's one step at a time. You don't just go barging. Yeah, where are they? Where are they? Must be somewhere in here. It's not like that at all. It's not
right.
Like some of the TV I know do it. They go, well, we got so we're going in there tonight, but you'll probably find they've been there a week. I don't know why they do. But yeah, it's one step at a time, and also you got to keep communicating with them even after we investigate there. You always keep in chat with them and check everything's okay, and then we normally do a cleansing if it's bad. If that's it depends. Sometimes we don't have to. Depends what's going on.
Absolutely.
So I have a question. During the lockdown, have you gone back through evidence? I've seen other investigators in the UK who, in different parts of the country or the world that are locked down, they go back and get some of the old case files and just kind of look through them again and maybe pick up some new stuff.
Yes, I have been through some of them and found some new things. But the thing is a bit of a torment because you look at it, you're watching the videos and stuff and that, and you think, God, I miss it at the moment. It's like dangling a carrot in front of a donkey. You're like, oh.
Right.
It's frustrating. Yes, I've been through some stuff. It's surprising that it's some of the footages we got. I think some of it we do CCTV and stuff. Sometimes I work out like 36 hours of footage. Because you got 8 CCTV cameras to look through. You've got one camera, probably 6 or 7 hours of footage, then another camera, a lock-off camera with another load of footage on it. It does take time. It takes a while. So I've gone back on stuff 2 or 3 times and found more EVPs that I didn't notice. Would you believe?
Oh yeah.
I do a lot of the audio and stuff for our group, and I can listen to it the day after, and I catch some things, and I'll go back and listen to it later, month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever down the road when I have extra time. And I'm like, I didn't catch that. How did I not catch that the first time?
My first EVP, my best EVP was a long while ago now. Good grief, I'm trying to think out. A long while ago now. And that was recorded on a video recorder. And when I went back and played the video recorder, I didn't hear nothing. But when my girlfriend went and checked, I said, "Go on, have a listen through that and see if you can hear." And she said, "Yeah, right." Bang, we got this amazing EVP. It was in Latin. I believe that was in Latin. And that was a horrible voice. That was horrible. But at the time we lived in one of the oldest houses in the area. I think it's dated back to 15th century, maybe something like 14th, 15th century. And we were living in there. We were living in the oldest house. I didn't even know that at the time. I didn't. But we hadn't been in there long, and we had some strange activity. That well haunted. But that was strange. And one thing it used to do as well is to switch off my Most Haunted recordings. The TV show Most Haunted in the UK. I'm talking back a few years here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They used to switch my recordings off. it was weird. Yes, they switched the telly off, things like that. But I didn't like Most Haunted for some strange reason. That is the switch off. Because I used to record it, go back to watch it the next night because I was probably tired, whatever, and went to play it. It worked all the way through to the beginning of the Most Haunted, and then nothing, blank, just a blank recording. And then when Most Haunted finished, roundabout roughly, the adverts or whatever it was, no, it weren't adverts, or I think, no, yeah, adverts come on just as the end of it. So the whole thing was blank. Probably didn't like Most Haunted.
Yeah.
They're not fans.
No, they were.
Now,
So yeah,
go ahead.
no, go on.
I was going to say you said you started around or you started gaining interest in the paranormal field around 10 years old. What experiences from your childhood really influenced you to start moving toward becoming an investigator?
Oh God, I think the thing that started it was I was messing around. We made our own Ouija board. That's me at 10. Big mistake. Bits of paper, write the letters down, do the numbers, yes and no. And I had my friends round at the time, and we were doing that. Next minute, I had a picture behind me, and it come flying off the wall and nearly hit me. And that was the start of it. That was something that scared the, excuse my word, what word shall I use? Shall I do a beep? Shall I do
There
a
we
beep?
go.
It scared the beep out of me totally. You know, a change of pants I needed, and I couldn't sleep for ages. Also, we had activity. That's the thing that started it. I think I've been interested because my brother was interested in it. He loved, put the horror films on and stuff and things like that. It weren't much paranormal sort of programs then, but yeah. Also, I was watching a program called Match of the Day, and my mum and dad and my brother was out, and I was watching telly, and the door behind it, the handle went down and opened up the door, and I sat and watched it. So I've told this story many times. I went in the kitchen, grabbed a knife, ran in, switched the light on, thinking that's my brother messing around. There was no one there. We had, you'd hear footsteps coming down the landing. Whether this Ouija board thing I'd done started, I didn't know, but I think I've probably had that connection because I've seen a couple of spirits in person, and at a young age, and then a few years later, and then a few years later, sort of thing. I don't see them every day, unfortunately, and I think there's something connected. I don't know what it is connected with me. I have not a clue. I wish I knew, but there's always been a connection from. That's why we capture all the EVPs and stuff, and things like that. When you speak to, like, Git Knox, speaking to I believe was Arthur Lowe from Dad's Army. Have you heard of Dad's Army, UK comedy sitcom? No,
What was it again?
No,
that was called But Dad's Army, and that was to do with the Home Guard.
I don't know it.
I think I do know that.
Yeah, Arthur Lowe, and yeah, we got it on footage, on video of communicating with Knox. One knock for yes, two for no. That was quite amazing. We get that quite a lot, and we were still building up. That's not always happened. That's not a thing that's always happened, but it seemed to be more responsive now. Well, when we were last year, that was getting more responsive, and we were getting better connections. We had a monk that we connected with, a parent monk, but we didn't. I don't think we got his name. It was strange. He was a strange one. That one. Yes. Yes, he got a bit narky. He was nice at the beginning, then he turned a bit funny. So we left it at that. Sort of thing, because there's signs where you tell when things,
Yep.
they can be pleasant and then they turn like a Jekyll and Hyde. They can turn a bit funny. So we shut it down, so to speak, and then move on to another part of the house or whatever.
So we're having a few questions come in from the
Okay.
chat.
Yes.
This first one here says, what do you fear most in the paranormal field?
Oh, what do I fear? I suppose you fear the unknown in a sense, where you're not really sure. I mean, like for instance, that Arthur Lowe event. Was it Arthur Lowe? Was it someone else? Was he pretending to be Arthur Lowe? These things could go through my mind because I'm thinking, this is too good to be true. You get that thought of things happen when you experience these things, like probably yourself or anyone who's watching. You don't understand it because your brain doesn't register. It's like, what's going on here? And that can scare me because I think this shouldn't be happening to a certain degree. I know I've witnessed it many times and things, but it's still question it because there's too like out there, if you know what I mean. You might see it on the television, but when it's there in front of you and it's happening there, then it does become a bit, where are you going with this? Are they going to pick something up and throw something at you or push you down the stairs or something? You don't know, because some of these knocks are loud. They are really bangs. And you think if they've got the power to do that, what else could they do? So you have to be very careful what you say, and be respectful. So
yes.
Yeah, we agree. Another question here was, is there a piece of equipment that you think is kind of a big waste of time?
Oh, a piece of equipment was a waste of time. Let me think. Well, I would have said sometimes I do think K2 can be a waste of time because they're so sensitive. If you got one of them going, anything can trigger them. That's the unfortunate thing. You'd have to be like a nuclear base about, I don't know, 20 meters underground with no electricity, no nothing. So there's no interference. But if you're using them where there's all electrics and stuff and cameras, like lives, I've seen many people use them on the lives. They do interfere with them. We've tested them. They do interfere. I proved it on the live that they go off. They zoom in on the live like that to the K2 meter, and then they go. So yes, they might not interfere with them, and you could get a response, which is I've had that before. And you ask a question, but then how do you know for sure? I always have to be 100% sure that it could be the camera or is it spirit.
Right.
Yeah, we witnessed a fellow team member once that was holding a K2 and they were filming it with a phone within 8 inches of it, and I'm like, and they're yelling, "Well, back up! You're setting it off too much. Back up!" And I'm like, "No, the phone in your other hand is setting it off. You've got to."
Well, anyone's got the phone. People don't realise if you do investigations, I require everyone's phone to be switched off. When we do live, we don't do to the K2, and sometimes it can be a bit of entertainment to show people what we do more than. But we do capture stuff. It is, on the live, we captured some strange stuff. But yeah, you got as practice. You use certain equipment. Some you think, is it or into, so it's just trial and error, just seeing what you personally what you like and what you think. I'm not too sure, but K2s are one of those things I'm not too sure on. You know, I wouldn't. I like to use them. I think they're a wonderful device. But then again, I think probably cameras or people's mobile phones.
I'm a lot like that when I investigate too. I like using equipment where I can at least have some kind of tangible, quantifiable result from.
Yes.
Like me personally, I never use Ouija boards, not because I think, oh, they're so demonic and evil, but I think there's no way for me to prove what's happening is paranormal.
Yes, exactly. So you spend 8 hours investigating, thinking, yes, I've got this, you know, this is something paranormal. And you find out someone's got the phone on, which is triggering some meter going off.
Right.
Or the other thing is sticking all the meters together in a pile. I've seen that. No. If you do that, they feed off. If you put 1 meter, you get one there, and you think, oh, this is one. This is one of the Andrews collectibles. You put them like that. That is going to feed off. Not like if another meter. They'll feed off. They feed off each other.
Right.
So separate them, keep them well apart. You know. Then you can say they're not feeding off each other from distance. That's just something you just learn as you go. You know, you'd learn, because we've had 2 meters go off at the same time, and we found out that the batteries in them can feed off power onto the other one and so forth.
So I don't want to date you here, or I guess a better way to say it is I don't want you to have to reveal how old you are, but how many years have you been doing paranormal investigations?
Oh, well, I'd say I've been interested since I was 10. My first investigation was, they say the investigators, it's more of a bit of fun, you know, at the time. I was probably about 12 and looking for the local ghost train. And we waited there all night and gave up, and then went to the shop and got some sweets instead. But that's the thing. It didn't mean, you know, it's going all over the place. We used to just go for drives and things like that, you know. And if you go for walks, even, you didn't have to have any equipment at the time because there weren't really nothing there to have. The video recorders, I borrowed one when I was young. They're expensive, you know. They were probably £1,000 then. they're as big as that.
Oh yeah.
And a recorder, the old tape recorder, and things like that. And that's about it. That was limited to about that. You catch a few EVPs and bits and bobs. I think at a young age, then you're not on the ball with it so much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're basically clueless. Like that age. Until I got like 20, then it got a bit more interested, you know, to do more recordings and going places, and you walk around a museum and you sort of got a recorder, or you know, you're looking out for things, see if you can see anything. You think I'm talking? Oh, good grief! Well, I'll give my age away. They never guess anyway. I'm talking probably 2000. Just blooming hell, I don't know, 30 years ago, maybe. Before that, that was a time where there wasn't much about, you know. Even Zach didn't exist then.
Right.
Zach, or most don't know it. That was before that. There wasn't much equipment. You got your magazines you buy, you know, and things. There wasn't such thing as really equipment. I can't think of, unless you use your old tape recorder, which I got. Mm-hmm. But there wasn't much. You certainly didn't go house investigating. Well, you do your own home, or maybe a friend's home and things like that. But it just wasn't a big thing. It was quite quiet. It went to the 2000s onwards that it got more. You know, you'd have a scientist go investigating in the 70s. You know, with the sideburns and the, you know, the hair down here somewhere. Open university, you know, that sort of thing. There was no. It's more of an interest when you're younger, I think, than taking it more serious as I do now. But it changes over the years. The more, you know, as equipment get out, just keep. I mean, we find some of the best evidence we capture of new equipment. All we got is a camera. You didn't have to have this best. I mean, I've got everything you can buy, admittedly, but I don't mean I have to use it. Some of the equipment sit in the corner. It depends. You just ask them for knocks. That's the big thing at the moment for us. Is, you know, something they probably understand. We used to do things like we used to say to them, I've done it. Can you just walk in front of the SLS camera, please? Or things like that. Can you speak into this recorder? Well, if you're talking to someone in the 17th century, then what the hell's he on about?
Right?
But yeah. And sometimes we do make mistakes. Sometimes we say things. I've said some. I'll have to do some outtakes. I think I've said some daft things, you know, and it's crazy. You know, you forget. You know, because you got your because in the UK especially we've got dates back to God not but anything. They can go back to 3000 BC. You know. I don't know. And then you got people who died not recently, within say 100 years, who could have lived in the property or on the land. So you have to separate a bit of what you're communicating with, especially on house cases. We've had this many times. We've had people hanging. People got hanged in this area, and but you know that doesn't mean that they're the people who actually haunting the house.
Right.
It was on a case that we believe a young lad who fancied the lady who lived there. Same age, yes. They didn't realise he was scaring her. He just liked her. I think he reminded her of probably some girl in the past. But also, you capture something that's you know, people who have been there in the past. You know. So you've got to work that out. That's difficult part. That's the hard part, to work out what's there in the previous life and what's there, say, a few years ago. This is the thing you got to work out. I mean, sometimes you can get something like 20 spirits in a property all at one time. And you think, oh, good grief! Yes, oh yes, I captured. Anything up to 20 different voices in a house or on a location, and they're all different, from a young girl to an old man, a woman. There was many, which is trying to figure out who or why, you know, are they causing havoc with the family. You know, you got to pinpoint it, and sometimes they don't want to speak.
Yeah,
Not interested.
We try to think. We, as a team, we try to think outside of the box. And Jeremy, who's normally the other host of the show, he does this dog whistle.
Okay. Yes.
Different frequency, like you can't hear, but maybe the spirits can, because they talk to us through frequencies and EVPs.
Yes.
So he came up with this idea, and it's had positive and negative effects. But I know I about got pushed down a flight of stairs one night when he did it.
Oh, it didn't like that.
Yeah, it was like you're standing in a crowded room. Somebody pulls the fire alarm and everybody takes off running.
Oh, right, yes.
It just knocked me into the wall.
Yeah, I think it did. With sounds like that, I mean, yeah, I see what you mean, because you know, we could there. How can I explain it? We're not hearing them sometimes,
right?
So that's the problem. They're there. The voices are there, but sometimes we can't hear them.
Right.
So I think that's where the cameras and things pick them up. And it's also, I think, with vision as well. I think there's probably some form of, I know there's all different cameras you can pick up, IR cameras, and all, all different. And I think that's the difficult part, is seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hearing them is a bit easier, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
With the right equipment. But seeing them is more difficult.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You can feel they're there.
Right.
You can sense cold spots. You can smell them.
Mm-hmm.
Perfumes and stuff, whatever. But that's the seeing. That's I think is the possible next step in maybe someone with technology. I've been trying to figure out certain things I want to do with the cameras. I don't think they're enough. I think there's more. We need the money to invest in it. If people would, but they probably wouldn't.
Probably not.
No, but you know what I'm getting at. SLS cameras are okay, but then that depends if you say pick your arm up and they do it on command. Can you sit on the floor and they'll do it? I've had that. Or can you walk towards me? I've had that. Very rarely on an SLS camera you get people to walk. Ask them to walk across the room, and you actually see them walking. That's rare, and I've had that only a few times. I've actually walked across, or poking around with my cameras with their fingers, because they're fascinated. That's interesting. And again, you got to debunk stuff by moving things around and see, if you move a chair, they're still sitting in that chair. Is it the chair? Or is it playing up with the SLS? You've got to make sure the room is completely empty. Is the best bet. There's all different techniques you practice around with to get it right.
Right.
I'm running on, ain't I?
Yeah, we're playing with new things with our group. We're doing some open shutter on the SLR cameras. No, not the SLR, the regular cameras. I'm sorry.
So a regular photographic camera, they leave the shutter open and they paint the room with a laser grid.
Yes.
They just go back and forth in front of what that camera's taking a picture of, with the idea that if something moved during that time, say, 20-second time that the shutter's open, if something moves inside that it will cause an anomaly in the picture, or show up.
Well, we deal with pictures. I deal with pictures of them every day. It's so difficult. I mean, where do you go with the saying to someone, "Look at this. This is paranormal, and this really happened. What do you think?" If you show, the trouble is with pictures, you show them the picture, they'll go motion blur, double exposure, and it goes on and on and on and on.
And today's
they will not accept that.
Today's technology, how hard is it to Photoshop? I mean,
Well, exactly. That is the problem. I've spoke to a lot of people in the paranormal world and said, if you put me in a locked building with cameras, CCTV, security, if you want, I reckon I could probably prove something extraordinary with especially with the knocks. I'm quite hopefully that would happen. Knowing them, they'll be going, nah, I'm not doing it.
Not today,
not today. But I would challenge anyone out there to challenge me to do it, because if I can do it, which I think I can, I'm sure I can, then who would you ask? This is the question. Do I ask the Queen as a witness? Who do I ask? Who will say that is definitely paranormal, and people will believe it.
Right.
they need someone who's that someone's going to say that definitely happened, and they go, oh, then maybe people will believe it and think there's more to this than what's good, to what people are saying.
Right.
That's my ambition to say let's prove this once and for all. It's a big ask, a big thing, but many people have tried have failed. I think there used to be competitions where you could win millions of. I'm not interested in that anyway, but they put £1 million prizes up. And would it be enough to people? I don't know.
Philip Wyatt asked,
Right.
do you think the different spirits can see each other?
You think different spirits? Yes, I think they can. Yes, definitely. Yeah, can't see why not. Yeah, because I would have thought so. Yeah, because they communicate with each other. They've had conversations and ignored me. And yeah, definitely. I think definitely. They said when I spoke to spirits before, they've said they're with their family, they're with their wives or husbands or whatever. They seem to be together. They've also told me I was an idiot. They thought what I was doing was stupid. Yes. But I think there's certain things you done, weird things you didn't ask. I suppose they say you shouldn't, but some people do try. Like ask them. Like I think one of the things they say you shouldn't say is, "Do you know you're dead?"
Yeah.
That's something you shouldn't ask apparently, but I've never asked that question because there's never really. I don't know. I suppose that's what, in a way, maybe you should ask. I don't know. It's and if you get a bad response, you don't ask again. Is it offensive?
Yeah, we have asked that question before.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever had it answered.
I don't think we have.
Or had any response to it, but I know that we have asked that question before.
We ask, what year is it? To see if we can get them to tell us where they came from.
One of Jeremy York's favorite questions: are you hungry? What do you want to eat?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We ask things like I think we do. What was the thing we said? We had a lot of horny spirit once, and we asked them sex questions, and they were quite happy, obliged. Yes, they were quite happy to say some things. They got a bit rude, some of them.
Oh yeah.
Scott Wilson, our favorite little guy on this show here, who's normally a host, he
him and his spirit box.
Spirit boxes just harass him horrendously about sex, and it's so funny because he just jumps right in and responds right back.
Yes, yeah. I think we had one that was a bit over the top, but he said he wanted to put his hands up Natasha's top or up a skirt and things like that.
Scott had one at a prison that was saying, "Come upstairs, come to the cell, I'll meet you," and some other provocative stuff that we won't discuss. But he went. He's like, "Okay, I got you," and he put all of his stuff down, grabbed an EVP recorder, took off, and went to that cell. And he goes, "Nobody ever showed up."
He was upset that they stood him up. That's probably a wind up. They do have laughs. I mean, they some of them like a bit of fun and have a laugh with you. Had that quite a few times. I think the thing is when sometimes we go, if we do have people come with us to investigate, the trouble is the mediums and bits and bobs come through on them. Their loved ones come through. That's a pain. That's good. That's a brilliant thing for them, but that's not what we're there for.
Right. Wrong time. Let's do this later.
Now,
yes. But when mediums, once they get someone come through, they're like, no, they won't leave me alone. They need to speak to this person.
Right.
So then it gets all rolled up. You know, we get different languages. We've got a Russian lady and her dad came through in Russian. I can't understand. I didn't know to speak up, a Russian, but she was adamant that it was her dad coming through speaking to her.
I remember back in the mid to late 1800s, there were a lot of Russian, Polish immigrants
Yes.
coming to the UK around that time. So it's really interesting that you mentioned the Russian connection, because I'm kind of the team's historian.
Right.
So I have
Okay.
a lot of history. In fact, I was just telling Jeremy before you came on earlier, if I ever went to England, how much I would love to see Hadrian's Wall.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's probably seen some action over the years, maybe.
Absolutely.
This is the thing. I think also you get. I'm trying to think of it. What's it called? A language. Oh, like in America, I can't think of the word now. Sorry. Where in America, you have different tones to your voices. That you can tell from someone North America to South America. What's that called?
Accents.
Accents. That's it. Sorry. Yeah, you get them as well. Now that's interesting when you get the accents, because it sort of validates that it's someone actually intelligent as well to a certain degree, or the accent fits in the time period as well.
Absolutely.
Going back, certain things they say. That's the most important. Trying to validate everything, like history. I'd love to know the history, so we can later on tie it up with the evidence and see if they tie in, like names, date of births, what they used to do, and all that sort of thing. And you tie it all in, and if you can validate it all, that's quite, that's amazing, because you got a connection then. So this is just not a fluke. This is. I mean, we had an EVP. I don't know if you got my EVPs.
Yes, I actually have them here. Jenny Sanyasi said, "What do you think of EVPs?" And Tim was kind enough to send us a couple. I'm going to bring those up now, and we'll play them, and then let you explain the EVP a little bit to us, and a little background on where you're at and stuff.
Okay.
So here's the first video.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, we'll ask them. Is your name Arthur?
Oh.
That was
very.
That was like that last one.
Yeah, it was.
He's got it. Well done, Wayne.
See, I can't hear him down that neck of the woods.
Passed away.
1982.
Okay, hang on. Is your name Arthur Lowe? No way.
I heard that.
So, how would it be anything to do with the uniforms downstairs? Arthur Lowe were down. Anything?
Unless it is just picking up another one, or...
Can I just confirm this? Because this is quite amazing. You're Arthur Lowe of Dad's Army?
Wow.
I didn't hear a word of that. It just froze on my screen.
It was the Arthur Lowe.
Let me see in the chat if it froze for the chats.
Yeah, it just.
Did it freeze for you guys in the chats?
It's just unfortunate. It was just. I'd want to. I mean.
Oh, Jenny heard something. Jenny's the EVP queen. I'm telling you, she says she's not, but she is.
They said no, it didn't freeze up. So they were able to hear it. It was the you were getting knocks in response to asking for Arthur Lowe.
Yes, yeah, that was at Poppylands. It's a World War I, World War II themed cafe tea room actually, and a good friend of ours, Darren, he owns it, but he's got a lot of World War I, World War II war memorabilia there, old radios and all the time of that era, and he's all got some stuff connected with Arthur Lowe, I believe. And I've been there. We've investigated it over the time quite a few times. Sometimes we've had some few things happen. We always capture EVPs, but nothing as big as that. So we tried. I think we were speaking to Wayne. Wayne was, I don't know if he's in the chat. He was there and witnessed it at the time. We were doing a live, but we had a backup cameras in case the live go. The connection. We're out in the middle of nowhere, remember, or something plays it up, and it was just something triggers me to say Arthur Lowe. I think he said Arthur, and I thought Arthur Lowe, Dad's Army. There's a big poster of him up on the wall, and we got this massive knock, and I was like, whoa. But we couldn't pinpoint where it was at big, with these knocks, you can never pinpoint where they are. I mean, they could be in the atmosphere. These loud bangs. And we had a good conversation for about, I don't know, half an hour or more, something like that. We asked him all different questions. I asked him all different things. And that was the instant response. Even when we didn't say nothing, that was quiet. So you do a few minutes, nothing, and see if you hear a knock. And things like that, or a question you might not know, and you won't get it was strange. That was brilliant. That was an amazing experience. That's the talk thing I talked about.
Jenny Sanyasi also said that she could hear a breath.
We can replay it.
Yeah. Do you want me
Okay.
to? So I'm going to replay it and see if she hears it again, or maybe if it's if she thinks it could be paranormal, or if it is a teammate who may be taking in a sharp breath in response. So I'll play it again and let her listen again. Maybe she can tell us when it is.
Okay, we'll ask them. Is your name Arthur?
That was very.
That was like that last one.
Yeah, it was.
He's got it. Well done, Wayne.
See, I can't hear him down that neck of the woods.
Passed away.
1982.
Okay, hang on. Is your name Arthur Lowe? No way.
I heard that.
So, how would it be anything to do with the uniforms downstairs? Arthur Lowe were down. Anything?
Unless it is just picking up another one, or...
Can I just confirm this? Because this is quite amazing. You're Arthur Lowe of Dad's Army?
Wow.
Okay, so maybe Jenny.
I had part of it, but then it just broke up a bit, so I can. I think with the breaths that, if they're there, they're possibly, it could be spirit. It's difficult with breaths in this. You're there and you know that no one was, breathing. The cameras normally, when we're filming, say, 6-hour shoot, you never hear breathing on there from people. The only time you hear breathing on there is someone like Natasha's going up 6 flights of stairs. So, they didn't. Yeah, that's the knocks, the thumps, that the thing. You put it on full belt with a big set of headphones on, whack the sound up, you'll hear the thing. But they were louder than that where we were. Trust me.
There's a couple of people now that in there. There's a couple of people there now that are saying they're hearing a sigh very close to the mic.
That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know, because I can't really hear it. So Did I
Right.
put did I put Knox in writing up the thing, or did I
Yes.
not word it? Well, if I'd have heard the
She's
sigh, I would have
hearing
put
the-
sigh up.
She's hearing the knock. She's hearing the knocks and then a sigh.
Yeah, that's possible. It wouldn't surprise me if that was a sigh from spirit. It's sighs are difficult, aren't they? They are difficult because is it possible that someone went, you know, one of the persons there? This is the thing. So with all the EVPs we catch, it's very rare I put the sigh or something. I might put a breath if I'm 100% sure. Like if someone's breathing for certain reasons, like going up some flights of stairs, then I'd be, could that have been them? And you know, so I don't normally post, would show that. It's a very rare, unless I'm sure that's loud. If it's really loud, like right loud, then I think no, that wouldn't be the team. And we checked with the team anyway if they did, but because LV watch it. So I didn't know, but the knocks are the most important to me.
He also says she is a male saying nope.
No. Makes sense. No. There's no. Yeah. Okay.
The queen of
So
EVPs, I'm telling you.
Something to go back and re-listen to later on.
Yes. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah. It's sometimes you see. I look at EVPs, and some people can go back and hear something different.
Yep.
So I might hear say the word sunny, and I swear that said sunny, but then someone will listen to it and it says soddy.
Yep.
You
Him and I do that when I'm listening to EVPs and I think I hear something. I hand them to him. Listen to this. Tell me what you hear.
We call it fresh ears. Have a fresh pair of ears, hear it.
Definitely, because you might hear something slightly different, and unless I'm 100% sure, like it's a, like F off, without saying the word, a swear word.
Right.
We appreciate that.
That's clear as it. There's a few clear ones you'll probably show in a minute. If they're super clear, then you don't question it. You don't have to put unexplained to me, because that's
right.
I'm 99% sure that it's that specific word. People criticise me for doing it. Why'd you not put it unexplained? Because it says the bloody word bat, you plonk it. It's clear, I can't change any other word I know. If I'm not sure, I'll put unexplained or unexplained sound. And they are difficult, but you get the ones like you'll probably show them in a minute. That there's no ifs or buts about. They'll blow your ears out, You can't sit there going, "Well, what was that sound? What was that?" Because they're loud.
Yeah.
Screams. Right. Go and play another one. Do they want to hear another one? That'd be interesting.
Jeremy,
I like listening to them. I do like listening.
We have one more here that you sent, and we'll play that one right now.
Okay.
Windy out there.
I don't mind. I was about to say Mrs. Mary.
Miss Mary, you don't mind marrying.
So that one was quite a bit louder.
Can we do that again?
Yeah, I'm gonna play that one more time, and then we'll.
Try the end.
Time?
Yes. Right at the end.
Yeah, we'll play it again here and let our listeners listen one more time.
Windy out there.
I don't mind. I was about to say Mrs. Mary.
Miss Mary, you don't mind marrying.
Yeah, very high, very feminine.
Very
Who's
clear.
Mary? I remember that one. We were talking about a place called St. Mary's. It's St. Mary's is an old abandoned church called the Witch's Leg. That's what we were talking about. So whoever the spirit was saying was intelligent enough to listen to our conversation and said, "Who's Mary?" That's such a high-pitched voice. That was the same night, I believe that was. That was the same night, I believe that was Arthur Lowe. That was the same night, that lady. You could not miss Mary. They're shocking, isn't they? They are loud. You think
Yeah.
Yeah.
EVPs here. When I'm listening to that, and I've got the headphones. Whoa! What the hell was that? I'm like, whoa! But then I still have to check with the team that someone's got such a high pitched voice, but not that high. No.
We had another question back up here that I wanted to address with you,
Where?
and that is, I'm trying to find it right here, and it's from Justin Clifford. It says, "Do you think spirits can use all their senses?
You think spirits can use all their senses?
Like
They got
smell, touch, see, taste?"
what? Could they have all their senses? Oh, that's a difficult one. I really don't know. I don't know. I think could they still taste and smell? You're asking something that if you're in the spirit world that you'd know this. They don't tell you much what's going on over there. I think the only thing they seem to say is that they're happy normally. They're at peace.
And that they're
They're
there.
with family. Pardon?
And that they're there.
Yes.
Hey, here we are.
I think we've had conversations about foods and things like that. Oh, they fancy a burger or a beer. Can I have a beer? But you didn't know if there's something that's recorded from the past more than if it's intelligent.
Right.
So it's residual. I can't even say the word now. What's it called? Residual. I can't even say.
Residual.
Residual. I've only had 4 hours sleep last night, so I do apologise. My brain's like a sieve. What's that, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Jeremy, you coming in? Come on. Come on.
He's waving and shaking his head no.
Chicken.
He's helping us run the back office tonight.
So yeah, they say something like they like a beer or their favourite drink or whatever. But you don't know, that's something that's in the past that we just happened to record, like the Stonewall theory, isn't it? You record in the past. Something that happens, is it just a recording playing over and over and over again? Or is it, something that's intelligent that's there who wants to have a beer with you? I've had someone say lager. Someone said something about lager. And is there something there, that's the difficult thing. If we knew they were there having a lager, you can say your connection would be answered, they'd have all their senses.
Right.
So I could not ever answer that question until I'm gone from this planet. Then I'd let you know.
Please do.
I'll come back and tell you. So it's difficult to say. I mean, if that's the difference between intelligent hauntings, say, and residual energy hauntings. They're different. They're just on a time lapse. You're recording things like bombers flying over, like yesterday. That seemed to came from World War II. People record the sounds of bombers flying over. That's just like a pre-recording from the past. That's what you got separate.
Yeah, we actually caught a really great EVP once that I believe was residual. We were out at a battleground area from the War of 1812. It's not too far from where we live. It's called the Battle of Mississinawa, and it's from the War of 1812. And right alongside the river, there are several soldiers buried there, and their cemeteries are marked. And I thought, well, I'll try to get the soldiers to talk to us. And instead, when I played it back, we actually got drumming noises and hoops and hollers, like from the Indian side.
Yes.
Now, this was
Yeah.
middle of the day. It wasn't at night. We were out there during the daylight. And I kind of have this belief that spirits are more active when they would have been active alive.
Yes. Yes.
We go to a prison, and this one prison that we go to a lot, it seems to me like the spirits are more active before a certain time, and then after that time they just kind of shut down. Well, what time were they locked down every night?
Yeah, getting certain times. Yeah,
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
were out there during the daytime, and we were right along the edge of this river, and you just hear boom, 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 boom.
Oh
boom,
wow,
boom.
yes.
I mean, it was just clear as day, and you could hear the whoops and everything like that, and you were like, I'm at the soldier cemetery, and I'm getting the natives talking to us, but I think it was more of a residual sound from the area than it
Yes.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Something from the past that you've just had to strangely capture. It's so odd because it doesn't make any sense if you think about it. For you
Yeah.
being there at the right time and you just capturing this drumming sound, it's like, what the hell? It doesn't make no sense to me even now. And the weird thing is when you you hear these things as well, like a baby crying, and you play back on your video and you actually still hear the baby crying, or sometimes you hear them but the camera doesn't pick them up. We've had all sorts. I think I've had horse and cart. I've heard trains, all sorts of different things. I've heard planes, even boats, things like that. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It makes even one place I investigated where I was more of as a guest, so to speak. I wasn't supposed to be investigating it; it was just a guest thing, and I'm happy to go. Try not to take too much equipment, and you could hear this military base so active next door. You think this is set back to 1940s. The office next door sounded like that was fully packed of people. You could physically hear it, you can hear it. What the hell was that? You opened it. I didn't even know that room, that was the operations room, because I'd never been there before. So I asked, I said, what's in there then? It wasn't just a few, there's quite a few of us had it. And what's in there? They go, it's operations room. What? So we opened, no one in there. That's where they would have been. It's like a replay of them working. It was really weird. It's like the Bermuda Triangle, I tell you. Why would you be hearing a recording in the 1940s of a operations room? You get the typewriters going. You could hear that. You could hear them talking, and it's like it's busy and all this commotion going on in there. You open the door, there's no one there, and there was like 8 people witnessed it at the time. It was the oddest thing ever.
Yeah, I can relate. We've definitely had our different times when things are when we catch something completely unexpected. In fact, I tell everyone my favorite EVP was caught in my living room, and I said the date wrong, and it corrected me.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I said 15th, and it said no, it's the 14th, and then I said 14th because I realized I did it wrong. I walked off down the hallway, and you hear it say, he said it. Like I really wanted to correct him. I wanted to make him feel dumb,
I've had that when they said, what was that thing? I was at this place that was an old. I've got to watch what I say because that was a private place, but old place, 18th century, something like that, 17th century, and we got offered to investigate. There's some strange things going on in there. And this recorder, what's that little portable ghost box? I think something like that. And I was playing
box?
that.
Like an SP7?
Yeah, spirit box. That was not. No, it's not a small spirit box. No, a portable one. And I said something. What did I say? Something about being the boss or something. And this voice comes from, "Who's the boss?" And Natasha go, "Well, you're not the boss." And then this voice come through, "No, you're not the boss." That's it's sort of like it's filling in the words. Or I'll tell you what, the strangest thing I've noticed as well. EVPs when they say things before you say them.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, "Oh, it's an echo." We were saying that because we had done a live the other night with Natasha was doing something, and they say, "Well, it's not an echo," but the echo, the voice before that, is nothing like the voice, your voice or whatever, and they mimic what you say. They even mimic your voices as well. This is the strangest thing. Yes, I've had it where they said. Someone said, "Look up" in this EVP. People said it sounded like me. I never said nothing, but it sounded like me saying "look up," but I never said sausage. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
It's
That's like
crazy.
the mimic voice. Yes, Andrew's got a thing where he says, "What is that? Tally-ho." When he says bye to you, he says "tally-ho." That's his signature word. And on a ghost box, Andrew wasn't there. He said something about Andrew, and "All right, Andrew, tally-ho," but Andrew wasn't there at the time. That sounded like Andrew speaking. This is the weird thing, through a spirit box, ghost box. It worked that one, and it said tally-ho.
Interesting.
Yeah. So somebody knew Andrew.
Little mockingbirds.
Jenny wants to know what kinds of equipment do you like to use?
Oh, what equipment do you? Oh, we've got all sorts. SLS camera. We got the ghost box, which I designed myself. Voice recorders, lasers. Oh, I said SLS camera. Ovilus. You name it, you can think of it. We got it. REM pods, REM bears, all sorts of stuff.
If you could only take one of them with you, what
one.
would you be taking? One piece of equipment.
I'd be my camera. That was it. That's my camera, because I normally get EVPs. So, and if I saw something, I've seen apparitions before on camera. So that would be my main thing, really. Sometimes you don't need all this fancy equipment. You just need a camera, and hopefully, if you got a connection, you might get lucky. Simple as that. I've got tons of stuff.
We talked earlier about how you started very young, and about the different ways you investigated back then, and how you started off pretty primitive, like most of us do. Because let's face it, some of this equipment is very expensive these days.
Yes.
How much have you changed and evolved from your early days? You talked about a learning curve, and I'm just kind of asking to expand on that a little bit.
Well, I think you see this equipment, and you think, I'll use that, and then you get there, and then you get to use it, and you think, what a load of rubbish, say, for instance, in doing that.
Yeah.
And then some equipment surprises you, and sometimes spirit just don't want to use the equipment, and like, nah. You could have a REM pod sitting there for 10 hours, nothing happened. You're not getting nothing triggers. People try and use them to communicate with us, and if you can just, it's not easy because they don't know what a REM pod is. I keep explaining this. They're not.
Right.
go close to the little. You say go to the REM pod. No, that ain't gonna work. Well, go to the green light. Well, do they know what Do they even know what the color green is? I don't know.
Right.
So it's difficult. Sometimes you use bears. Like a REM pod bear, for instance. This sort of one. Oh,
Aw.
you use
Oh, that's
them,
cool.
and you ask them to go to bed, but depends if it's a child. If it's not a child, they might not be interested in the bear. They might think, God. I've had a spirit laugh at a bear. I think there might be. We got. Oh, what's his name? There's a Boo Bear we got as well. The detective got one of them. But we use them for lock-off cameras. Yeah, Boo Bear. That's it.
I see Robin commented about it.
Yeah, I think I sent you a clip on one of them. I can't remember what one I sent you, but
Jeremy
we
had
do-
all of those.
what we'll do, position the bear, then we'll put the camera in front of the bear and lock the door, shut the door off, so make sure no one go in there. Plus we've got
Mhm.
CCTV watching as well, and see if it records anything, if the bear actually communicates with it. Things like that. I mean, lock-off cameras, some things that we said, is to leave the building alone. You set all your equipment up, get your cameras rolling, CCTV. Go
Yep.
down the pub for an hour. Go down the bar for an hour. Just let it see what happens while you're not there. Sometimes they want to do their own thing. They don't like you being there.
We one of the last investigations, the 13th Dimension, which is me, Tim, Jeremy, and Scott, did. We set everything up. We had an interview. We had a podcast.
Where we were being interviewed.
Right, where we were the guest. And then we set everything up and we needed dinner. So we let everything run and we went and got dinner. Well, was it you who didn't take the walkie-talkie? Somebody brought a walkie-talkie and we had the other walkie-talkie at the house still on, and we were close enough that we were making our own EVPs just for fun. We knew it was us.
We weren't, but we weren't in the house. We're sitting there asking questions. A couple miles down the road, we're asking questions through a walkie-talkie, hoping to get a response to the questions we're asking.
Yes.
By the way, the pizza we ate that night
we
was
haven't
huge, and it
listened
was
to
great.
them.
Okay.
We haven't listened to those audio yet.
Yeah, we still need to listen to that audio.
It's like experiment with different things, and just because you experiment, say you walkie-talkie, leaving one in there and going somewhere else, might not have worked. Next time it might. It's a trial and error. As I say, everything's always trial and error. Because of something you could go 60 times and nothing worked, then you might be thinking, maybe this ain't gonna work. But we're lucky that we don't have to do too much now, because I think we're like an open book now with spirits. So we're like, they can be shy, but when we go back again, they normally, or a couple of times, they'll open up a bit more and so forth. And we never got half a low the first time we went there. I've been there about 9 or 10 times now, I think. But over time. But the first, they're not going to go there and say, "Oh, he's half a low, he's here." They got a connection here. They're going to speak to us. It was never like that. They seem to remember you. I suppose they must remember who you are. And I mean, I think a couple of times we got some old grumpy old bugger who didn't like us being there, and then it's when you go back, they seem to get used to the same. Actually, yeah, I don't mind talking to you. So maybe you can go on too much as well. Don't go on and on and on and on and on, because if someone done that to me, I'd ignore them. So you got to think, well, what would you do if someone? or ask them question after question after question. They can drive you
Right.
nuts.
Yeah,
Do
I
a
bet.
bit and then have a break. And if you're not, have a few questions, nothing's happening. You'll soon know it's active because your EVPs will come flooding in straight away. You know, we always do an EVP session recording, ask basic questions, and go from there. Really, I wouldn't never keep pushing it for like an hour or two. Keep question.
Right.
Drive you nuts. I tell you, bog off.
Carol Swindle says that you have made a few of your own as well, having a Boo Bear.
That's my yes. I made that. Yeah, we've done all sorts of bears, SLS cameras, all sort of EMF, all of different meters and stuff. Yeah, do all sorts. I just do it for ourselves, or that sort of thing. I don't sell them or nothing. I don't sell in case they break. There's no warranty on my gear. But yeah, I just do them for myself and just experiment with them. Everything's an experiment. But hard to get hold of the stuff now. It's difficult to get hold of the bits and pieces, chips and stuff now, since lockdown. So, but I've got tons of I've got stuff lying around everywhere. You just can't. This room now, it looks amazing in here now, like this. You look behind me. This room is full of. That's crazy, Blooming powered. Oh, what's this one? I've got all sorts in there. Another bear. Stands and. Ow! I just wrapped myself around the bear. Hang on, get off. It's. I've got tons and tons. I've got boxes of stuff in here. Sorry to lose you out of camera.
My balls real quick.
Oh, let's have a look. I don't know where it is. I've moved it all. I've got tons of stuff. Experiment. I mean, sometimes you just do basic stuff. I was saying before, you got sensor pads is another thing. Have you heard of sensor pads?
We actually just bought some stuff we're going to be experimenting with. We bought a
bit like 1970s disco floor. Have you ever seen one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And they stand up. If someone stands on that, lights up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pressure ones. There's even cases of making a room a certain pressure that can drop pressure. What's that one? I couldn't see.
We bought a couple of harmonicas, so
Yes.
you barely have to blow to get any kind of sound out of them. They're actually fairly high grade harmonicas. We thought maybe playing a little bit on the harmonica might incite them, or maybe
music,
putting it down and seeing if they can blow in it.
Oh, you ain't heard us sing? Oh my god! Good grief. When the girls start singing, that's like a load of cats being strangled. Poor buggers.
The other thing we like to use is these little guys. This is actually a cat toy.
Yes,
and I'll show you
got
once it stops flashing here, the slightest little touch. Well, no, it's not gonna. The slightest little touch will actually make it light up.
See, that's what I'm saying by experiment. When you got them, and we had them before. We had them on a chair, for instance. Now they gone off. No explanation why they gone off. Now the thing is, what I'd done was move the ball to another chair, see what happens. And also, have you got a spare one? I always got a spare one. I think Jane's got the balls. She got about 90, I think. She always leave them on the stairs so you break your neck. There's a spirit just come down and says, no, it's me coming down the stairs because I tripped over your board. She doesn't say where she put them, so nothing paranormal there. Yeah, try to kill us. But you move them, and also if that one's flashing and you can't explain it, you think, okay. take that one up, use another one in its place, put it in the same spot you just had it, and see if that one go off to debunk that it ain't a faulty ball. You know,
Right.
Exactly.
that's what I do. I always, if I'm not happy with it, if it's the bears not doesn't sound right or something's not right, then it's triggered. But could it be a low battery? So you have to make sure the battery's right. But we don't mention batteries because, oh god, drive you nuts.
Well,
But music, sorry.
Like with the harmonica, if we actually got something to blow through it, well, let's make sure that wasn't a draft or some wind blowing through it. We'll move it to a different location and say, hey, can you play it in here?
Yes. Yeah. I've had a piano play. I've had a couple of keys on a piano go bing bing before. That was strange. Music's something to, and costume as well. That's another thing. Dress up in the era that you think that's possibly might help, or get an object from that era that's important to that building. Like we got an old clock that was an 18th century clock that was important for. We didn't know what the importance was, but we tried some sessions around the clock. See if we got nothing happened. Nobody nothing.
But we really like experimenting with music too.
Yeah, we play period music.
Yes, we. A long while ago, I was with a team that I played Vera Lynn in a war museum, another war museum, and we had singing. A lady singing along. And people heard it as well, and we captured it on like 3 cameras as well at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a lovely lady who just singing along to the music.
Hi, Jenny.
What was that?
Jenny she says every question I'm going to ask you already give an answer to. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
I do apologise for it. Whistle by my spelling. Oh my god, off cows.
Jockey's back. Jockey was with you guys last night.
And Jenny, his name is Ghosted UK.
Yeah, Ghosted UK. Yeah, that's the. We could have called ourselves anything we like. It's a thing with us when the name doesn't important. It's what you do is more important. That's what I feel personally. It's just a number on a door, so to speak. It doesn't mean hopefully we're doing our bit to help people. I think Ghosted is something to do with, I think Annabelle thought of it as well, to do with people who are there then disappear. People think we're some sort of dating agency, probably. I don't know. It's when, because that's like loved ones are there 1 minute and they're gone. Boom. That's the idea of being like an ex-girlfriend, boyfriend are there or something, they're dating and then they vanish. Boom. I think that's part of the ghosted thing, isn't it? And you've been ghosted. But yeah, it's that's what we're called. But it's just something different. I think there is a TV show called Ghosted as well, apparently.
I think there is.
Yeah, paranormal comedy thing. We didn't know that till later on. They're probably suing me. Gonna sue my ass now. But we didn't know till later on. But the name doesn't make no difference to us. It's just, we could have been ghosted, locked down, or it could have been whatever you want to call it, But people have their reasons for things. I think the important thing is that you're investigating and you're trying, like we're all trying to do, every paranormal investigator or ghost hunter are trying to show the evidence, prove that this. I asked that question as well. This is the most silliest question that I asked. This is a life after death, and they went yes. Well, obviously he's going to say, because they got to answer, isn't it? Because I'm speaking to the spirit. That's the sort of thing you mistakenly say, that sounds like a daft question to me anyway. But yeah, it's what is there? That's the question. What is there? You know, if
Absolutely.
this is all, hopefully true. In Aliens, we didn't know it. People say connected with aliens and stuff. People told me, and when I thought, what are you on about? But when you look at as a paranormal investigator, or as a person with an open mind, you got an open mind about things, and don't go, oh, what a load of rubbish, straight away without looking into it. That is possible. Like, it could be, it would make sense.
Absolutely.
They if they were aliens, they could come through and they could say who they want to be, whoever they want to be, couldn't they? Bob Martin is at Arthur Lowe, and he could be a little green fella at the other end. Could be, yeah, I'm Arthur Lowe. Knock, yeah, do a knock, because you don't know. That's part of the paranormal. That's the mystery,
Mhm.
And what's that?
Jenny says that she would love to work together with you in the future. She's our buddy from Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers. She's out of Ireland, so she's on your side.
Oh yes, I love a good Guinness,
Fun.
Jenny.
Yeah,
Good
she
Guinness.
was. Oh yeah, Jenny can drink. We'll leave it like that, Jenny. I'm being nice, honey.
Oh, we're not hunting ghosts, exactly, Jenny. That's what we say. You're hunting you don't hunt animals, so you won't be hunting ghosts, especially a relation is passed when you can go hunting them down, unless they owe you money. I suppose, I don't know. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, if it goes to money, I might hunt him.
Yeah, hunting.
I might do it.
I don't know where the term hunting comes from in hunting ghosts. I don't want to offend people because people say they're ghost hunting.
I think it's probably more an American English slang, because we're hunting for something, we're looking for something.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I think
if I'm in the drawer and I want to find a fork or a spoon, I'll say, well, I'm hunting for a spoon.
yeah, I think the English will blame the Americans and the Americans will blame the English. It's the normal thing.
I'll admit, I think that one's an American English.
American.
You're probably right. I just don't think it suits the word, hunting. It's like, you wouldn't. I mean, they do. Did you say animals? Yeah, like fox hunting. I mean, people don't like it. God, they'd go ballistic, wouldn't they? Oh, we're fox hunters. That was big kickoff, big cruel, and all that. So, but that's each to their own. I wouldn't say you shouldn't say it to a certain respect. But personally, I just don't get the word hunting ghosts. It's just a little term.
I always like to use the term ghost investigator.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's fine.
Because I think, for me, I love the old Private Eye movies, PI movies. So when I see PI, I think, Private Eye, but then when I see PI, I also think paranormal investigator, not just private investigator, paranormal investigator. So this whole, I've always loved those old PI movies and stuff. But on top of that, I think the word really lends credence to what we actually do. We're investigating that unknown.
Yes, I think with a paranormal investigator, it's more of writing stuff down and dates, times, and recording everything. You get like 10, 20 cameras. As many cameras you get, it sounds mad, and it is a pain in the butt. Trust me.
No, we understand.
You're covering everything, I think, like, I think he used to do it. I think Zach has done it in Ghost Adventures, and he's sometimes put CCTV everywhere, and My House is Haunted and stuff. They put camera. I think it's important that, because you never know what you capture. So and the idea is like an investigator is surveillance. That's basically what you're doing. You're there to witness an event. Then the investigating bit is also how I know investigators who don't speak. They never ask the spirits questions or ask them to come forward or anything like that. Each to their own, you know. And then you get the ones that go mad, you know, whacking tables and stuff, demanding. I've seen, which is appalling, isn't it? It's disrespectful. Yeah.
Your story, Scott, when we were at Crown Point Jail.
Yeah, we were at a jail and we went up to this juvenile area. Now, our buddy Scott is 5'1", 120 pounds. And
When he's soaking wet.
yeah, if he's soaking wet, he's 120 pounds. I'm 6'3", about 240 pounds. So I'm almost, double him. So we go up there into this juvenile place where they used to hold kids that were criminal offenders. And Scott instantly calls me. He's like, my friend Tim over there is the biggest guy in the room. Go try to knock him down. He wants to play King of the Hill with you. Go try to knock him down. Well, of course, nothing happened. And I played along with it at first. But when I stepped back and I thought about it, I kind of walked off to a corner by myself and I said, you know what? If you're here and you're scared, before I'm anything, I'm a dad. So I said, You know what? If you're scared and you need to hold somebody's hand or you just want a hug or something, don't be afraid to come to me. I'm a dad. I'll be a father figure to you. I'll be supportive to you. And instantly my whole left hand went ice numb, just cold as tea, just instantly. It was an instantaneous response. And she actually came over and grabbed my hand and recorded how cold it really was.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it was just as cold as ice. And it was instantaneous. In fact, after that, several fathers that were in our group went up there and investigated its fathers, and we had an absolutely awesome time, and they were very interactive with us because we approached it differently. We approached it as men who cared about their well-being and not picked on them,
Yes, it's. I think. Do you know what I think? I think they know what sort of person you're like. I mean, we can't all be, moody and stuff like that and stuff. But I think deep down they seem to know that they are that you're that you're an okay person, and I think that's where they build the trust up. I swear I say like a sixth sense. I think they know if you're a good person or not. It's just strange, I know. So I think, like with you, Tim, I think they probably already knew as soon as you got there that you're all right, you're a good person. Does that make sense to you? Or, no, I don't know. That's the feeling I get. That they sense, he's all right. He is, and I think that's when they can maybe open up to you because they trust you before you even open your mouth. I swear that's the feeling I get from things I do. I think if you're a nasty person or you, for whatever reason, I don't think they'll come forward to you. I think they keep out of your way, because I would. if I sense you're a right person, I'd approach you. If I sense you're a bit a bit of a that's a word, if I'm allowed to use it, a dick, then you wouldn't approach them, would you? And I think they got the same principles.
I've often told people if I ever died and came back as a spirit, I would be the first guy to jump out on the corner and go boo. Because I'm a big time prankster. We play a lot of pranks on each other on our team. That would be me as a ghost. I would find the person that I knew was going to wet their pants, and I would jump out around the corner and yell boo as loud as I could yell it and get them to scream and run away.
I'm going to say I've had that happen, didn't you?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I've recorded it as well. when you do certain, you know, with certain places you go to, the atmosphere builds up.
Mhm.
First you don't mean it to happen, but you know, anticipation of going to these places, and you've been told this, that, and the other. So you're thinking this place is, wow, this is, you know, things are flying around in this building. Maybe you might be hit by a barrel or something, and anticipation's building up. And and then you get someone who's walking around you. You know they're walking around you, or even through you. You feel them, bang, like a cold breeze just go. And then your arms, all your hair stand up end on all goosebumpily, and you're like, holy, excuse my language, holy pants, you know. And I'm like, and I'm building this up, and I'm like, and that's building up more in the room. The atmosphere's building up, and you can sense something's going to happen. So I'm like this. I know something's here. I know he's gone. That's gone around this corner, and I'm going like this. And on the EVP, I didn't hear it obviously, but I don't know if I said I heard it, but on the EVP, it went boo like that. It just went boo, and I got it on me, and I was like, "What the heck? He's taking the blooming Mickey." Whoever that was taking the Mickey out of me, because I knew, and I've had similar where I've heard a voice right in my lug, like a growl in my lug, and then I went, oh, I sort of grabbed my heart, thinking I'm having a heart attack. Oh. And then I heard someone laughing. Yes, and someone just gone, like a laugh, thinking that's funny. So they'd deliberately done it to scare the pants out of me. You know, and things like that. So they have got such a sense of humour, some of them. It's crazy. It really is. They think it's so funny. I mean, you just said about a boo, and I said I've had a boo. so maybe you said the same thing, whoever that was. You know.
Yeah, I would. That would totally be me. I'd be a prankster. I want to switch gears a little bit because we're starting to run a little short on time.
That's me.
It says I wanted to ask you: do you think there are differences in the way that you investigate over in the UK versus the US? Obviously, you've seen the television shows, but the little not the equipment and stuff, because we all pretty much, you know, that's just pretty standard across the board. But like the little nuances, like and please do not use Zach Baggins as a way that we all investigate. Sometimes he can get very disrespectful with the ghosts that he's with, and that's not what we do at all. We really try not to provoke a lot and things like that. But do you think that there's like, depending on where you are in the world, kind of depends on how you investigate?
I would have said we're all basically the same. I can't say it would be different in any way. I think people can be different, but just, you know, I think wherever country you come from Australia to Japan and Germany, I think you all got the same idea. Just down to the person. If you know, if you depends what technique you know. Some people use a certain technique.
Yeah.
People, you know, some people use mediums. Some people don't use mediums. Some people use CCTV. Some don't use. It's some people like only a couple of members of the team to go investigate. Some people want 25 members of the team to go investigate. It's all different. It's the wonderful thing about the paranormal. It's completely, everyone's got their own way. If you said to me, "Oh, come over and investigate with me, Tim and Chris," well, I'd probably be like a stuffed duck in the corner. I'd rather experience what you do than come over and take over. Go, no, you're doing it my way, Tim and Chris. This is the way you should be doing it. I'd be a puppet in the corner. I'd be like a, because I'd like to observe. I used to say, people used to invite me to places, and they said, "Have you investigated before?" I went, "No, never. No, not really." But so I sat in the corner and witnessed.
Mhm.
to see what's going on. I prefer to be the quiet one in the corner, to being taking charge. So it's like if I've got a name now, me with names. Jenny
Mhm.
invited me. I'd rather witness what they do. Then when you come to me, then see what I do and see what you
Right.
think. You're either impressed or you think, oh my God, he's terrible. Ain't got a bloody clue. But I think, I'd love to see what other people do. This lot. I've had a few invites, quite a few invites, and I've had, obviously we can't do nothing. But I'd love to experience other people's ways of investigating. I think that'd be just intriguing,
Mhm.
and see what happened. But I can tell you now, there probably would be something happening if I was there because they always turn up. I can't get away from them. Not that I'd want to, but I'd never understand why. This is the question: why me? If someone can answer me that, I'd like to know.
I like to just try to invite everybody because everybody, like you said, it goes down to the person. And you can learn new things and you can learn things not to do, things to do from
Yes.
everybody you come across.
Yeah, we all do things our own way because that's how people is in society in itself.
Mhm.
Everyone want to do it their way, and you learn by your mistakes. You learn a way you think, oh, that sounds a good idea, and then you find out 9 months or a year later it's terrible. It's not what's rubbish. What am I doing? It can take a long while to learn that you made it. That's the wrong way. I think that's probably the wrong way to do it because you ain't getting nowhere.
Right.
And over time, you get it spot on, and guess what happens? Lockdown.
Yeah.
So
COVID.
you worked all these years to try and get to this pinnacle of proving something, and then the virus turns up, and you're like, oh,
No,
it's like.
this
Yeah.
main last question here came from Jeremy before the show started. He wanted me to have you tell us all a little about the Para Unity network that you started.
Oh yes. Cal, Swindle, and where is she? Robin. Where's she
Yeah.
gone?
They're
Is she
floating
here tonight? She probably
Carol,
fell asleep.
they're
Cal,
floating
hey,
around.
yeah, Robin, and Carol. Well, I think everyone know who they were or are, I should say. I think they're known all over the world by now. So we did sort of come up with this plan to bring people together. Like as in learn off each other, maybe share stuff, ideas, and maybe one day get together and have a beer in the pub,
Mhm.
or an investigation, I should say. That's what Andrew says. And that was the idea of it. I think there's so many fights, arguments, and uh, nastiness some about the. I didn't know the paranormal was that bad to a certain extent. I was pretty shocked by the. I don't know why. I have not a clue. I think it's where society's going now. Um, years ago you could leave your door open, and go out. Now you wouldn't dream of leaving your door open. You've got
Right.
machine guns on your front door now. Things have changed. It could be society. You know, you could pop next doors and borrow some sugar for your coffee. Now you go around there and they'd put a shotgun in. What are you doing around here? Bug off.
Yeah.
I think society's changed. Not always, not everybody, but I think that's the trouble with the paranormal. And I think people get jealous of people as well. If they've seen someone doing well, they don't like it, and maybe I don't know. I mean, I'd be guessing, but that's the idea of Power Unity, is to try and change all that. I think we've got 120, 30 groups. I don't touch the admin to add people and all that, because Robin were doing that, because if we were all dibbing dabbing with it, she wouldn't know what's going on, or someone else was going on. But we do discuss things, you know, if things we feel is not right for team to be there, or Cal said build relationships and a level to understand between. That's very complicated, Cal. That is, from an egg, build relationships and a level of understanding between groups and folk.
Well,
She's
show me.
amazing. She's amazing, and she's got your spelling right and all. I can see.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, that makes a change. I'm sure. It's one of them things when you typing a word and you end up hitting it 6 times. And you think, "Oh my, give up! This isn't going to work today."
Yeah.
Autocorrect, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, that's the whole idea of it, and just bring people together, have a chat. And I think we've had people on chat shows and and things like that. I'll go on one chat show. Same as like you with I forgot his name. Where's he gone? Is he fell asleep? Where's he gone? Jeremy. I'm terrible with names.
He's just kicking
He's
back.
fell asleep. He's fell asleep, and
he's practicing. I like to tease Jeremy and call him the Don Juan of the paranormal. And I'm going to say he's practicing his Don Juan moves.
Yeah.
Laying back and
see a power unit is its own thing. They say, well, Cal and Tim and run, but it runs itself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use Power Unity for yourself, because it's its own thing. If we were trying to say use Power Unity to benefit from it, then people would see we're trying to benefit from it, and it wouldn't be Power Unity, would it? I mean, it would be Goosage UK's Power Unity, so it wouldn't work. And I've always said you just cannot. You got Power Unity its own self-contained thing. There's not really. I'd say, obviously, with Carol and Robin do the admin part of it as usual. I'm quite lazy. But that's basically, that runs itself. It's up to people to make the most out of it. It's there, like a library. It's there for people to read books, and it's the same thing. That's there for people to hopefully benefit. We've helped so many teams and that out from basically nothing to quite, got them on their feet, and get them going, get what they want to do. If they want the web page, help them setting up. They want this. If we don't know how to do it, we'll get other people to ask them if they'll help out. Doing logos and setting up groups. Some people, got kicked out of a group, so to speak. So they say, well, we'll help you set another group up for you if you want. So they set a group up. Yeah, we're quite a friendly bunch. We cheer, and we don't take sides of any teams, because teams argue, as you know.
Yeah, we know.
They're like, but we don't, because they're good people, especially if they're in a close community as well, or whatever. I don't know. It's you can say the wrong word and they come down with a hammer on you. But yeah, that just runs itself, really. It's up to people to try and get what they want out of it. Not for themselves, I wouldn't say, but for the bigger teams to help the smaller teams. There's quite a few in there. In Power Unity, you can, I'll get stuck on something, I'll ask. So can you help me with something? And I'd ask, that's the idea of it. And hopefully one day we can all meet up and have a party, hopefully. A Power Unity party, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. an investigation. Maybe everyone we could have one
Absolutely.
tall pile in a big, massive castle or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking Buckingham.
Cool.
We'll
Yeah.
ask the Queen.
Yeah, we could take that
Tim.
over.
Tim, it's been wonderful having you on. Unfortunately, we're running out of time.
I'm asleep. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, you need to go to bed.
Stick
All right.
around for just a minute with us, and we'll bring it right back. We do want to encourage people to stay tuned. I'm not sure if she's going to have a show tonight, but in case she does, stay tuned for What the Frick with Emily Menshouse, and as well next week, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Mr. Al Capone.
Yes.
So we will be having a whole show on the St. Valentine's Day Massacre for St. Valentine's Day.
Wow, brilliant.
And I may try to throw in a few tidbits of history for Cupid as well.
Can I just say thank you very much, Tim and Crystal and Jeremy, for having me on the show. It's been brilliant. I've tried to remember me with 4 hours sleep last night. So I've been going 18, nearly 20 hours now without any sleep. But yeah, thank you very much. It's been brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely
We've
lovely
absolutely loved
people.
talking with you.
We'll
right,
get it shared
everybody.
out for you as well.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
All right. We thank you guys. Bye. We love you, everybody.
Jeremy.
Hiya, Jane. Just say Jane quickly. Bye. Hi and bye.
Jeremy York.